The story of the Roman Empire begins not with mighty emperors or sprawling armies, but with a humble city on the banks of the Tiber River. According to legend, Rome was founded in 753 BCE by twin brothers Romulus and Remus, raised by a she-wolf in the wilderness. Myth or not, this small settlement in central Italy would grow into one of the most powerful empires the world has ever known. In its early days, Rome was a monarchy, ruled by kings. But after overthrowing its last king in 509 BCE, the Romans established a republic, a system of government in which elected officials held power. This Roman Republic would last nearly 500 years and lay the foundations for Rome's later expansion. The Republic was far from perfect. It was dominated by a wealthy elite called the patricians, while the common people, the plebeians, had limited political influence. Over time, plebeians fought for and won more rights, including the right to elect their own representatives, known as tribunes. These struggles shaped the Roman political system and created a complex balance of power between different institutions: the Senate, the assemblies, and various magistrates. As Rome's political structure evolved, so did its military ambitions. Rome began expanding throughout the Italian peninsula, using a combination of military force, strategic alliances, and the offer of citizenship to conquered peoples. By the 3rd century BCE, Rome had become the dominant power in Italy, and soon set its sights beyond. This brought Rome into conflict with another great power, Carthage. Located in North Africa, Carthage was a wealthy and powerful city-state that controlled much of the western Mediterranean. The rivalry between Rome and Carthage led to a series of brutal wars known as the Punic Wars. The most famous of these was the Second Punic War, in which the Carthaginian general Hannibal famously led his army, including war elephants, across the Alps into Italy. Though he won several battles, Hannibal was ultimately defeated, and Rome emerged as the uncontested master of the western Mediterranean. Rome's victories brought immense wealth and territory, but also internal problems. As the empire grew, so did the gap between rich and poor. Powerful generals like Julius Caesar began to gain more loyalty from their armies than from the Roman Senate. Civil wars erupted, and the republic slowly crumbled. Julius Caesar, a brilliant general and politician, played a key role in this transformation. After conquering Gaul, modern-day France, he marched on Rome, defying the Senate's orders. He declared himself dictator for life, a move that alarmed many who feared he would become a king. In 44 BCE, he was assassinated by a group of senators who hoped to save the republic, but it was too late. Caesar's death plunged Rome into further chaos. After years of power struggles, his adopted heir, Octavian, emerged victorious. In 27 BCE, Octavian became the first emperor of Rome, taking the title Augustus. Though he claimed to preserve the republic, Augustus held supreme power, marking the beginning of the Roman Empire. Under Augustus, Rome entered a golden age known as the Pax Romana, the Roman peace. For over 200 years, the empire experienced relative stability, economic prosperity, and cultural flourishing. Roads, aqueducts, amphitheaters, and temples were built across the empire. Latin became the common language, and Roman law spread far and wide. The empire stretched from Britain to Egypt, from Spain to Mesopotamia. It was a melting pot of cultures, languages, and religions. Citizens of the empire, even those far from Rome, could enjoy Roman citizenship, trade, and legal protections. But maintaining control over such a vast territory was never easy. The empire faced constant threats: rebellions, invasions, economic troubles, and political instability. Some emperors were wise and capable, like Trajan, who expanded the empire to its greatest size, or Hadrian, who built defensive walls to protect Roman frontiers. Others were infamous for their cruelty or incompetence, like Nero, who was accused of tyranny, extravagance, and even setting fire to Rome. In the 3rd century CE, the empire entered a period of crisis. Plagues, invasions, and economic decline weakened Rome. The empire was briefly split into rival regions, and more than 20 emperors came and went in just 50 years, many meeting violent ends. Reforms by Emperor Diocletian and later Constantine helped stabilize the empire. Diocletian divided the empire into eastern and western halves to make it more manageable. Constantine, meanwhile, embraced Christianity and founded a new capital in the east, Constantinople, today's Istanbul. His conversion to Christianity marked a turning point. What had once been a persecuted religion now became central to Roman identity. But the Western Roman Empire continued to weaken. Germanic tribes such as the Visigoths, Vandals, and Ostrogoths began pressing into Roman lands. In 410 CE, Rome was sacked for the first time in centuries. By 476 CE, the last Western emperor was overthrown, marking the traditional end of the Western Roman Empire. However, the Eastern Roman Empire, known as the Byzantine Empire, survived for nearly another 1,000 years. Centered in Constantinople, it preserved Roman law, culture, and traditions until it finally fell to the Ottoman Turks in 1453. The legacy of the Roman Empire is immense. It shaped Western civilization in law, politics, language, architecture, engineering, and religion. Latin evolved into the Romance languages: Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and Romanian. Roman law influenced legal systems across Europe. The Roman alphabet is still used today, and the concept of a republic born in ancient Rome continues to influence democratic systems worldwide. The story of Rome is one of rise and fall, glory and decay, but its influence never truly disappeared. It lives on in our roads, our laws, our languages, and even our dreams of empire. From a small village on the Tiber to the heart of Western civilization, the Roman Empire left a mark that time could not erase.